405 shutdown could create traffic jams like we've never seen.
We'll see. So how do you deal with it if it does get stressful out there? Dr. John Kennedy, Director of Preventive Cardiology and Wellness at Marina Del Rey Hospital. Also the co-author of the 15-Minute Heart Cure, a natural way to release stress and heal your heart in just minutes a day. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks
We're
for having me.
all hoping, of course, that this thing is much ado about nothing, but it could end up being quite a weekend for a lot of folks and spending a lot of time in their automobiles and pounding on the dashboard and kind of wired up. How do we relax from all that?
Yeah, well, we know now there's a lot of data showing how stress is really bad for our health, in particular our heart, and we know that traffic is one of the most potent triggers. And this weekend may be a big test for many. There's a study actually that shows that people in particular that are unemployed, women, and people with known heart disease are at specifically increased risk. So, you know, when we're out there driving in traffic, just remember that it is very bad for our heart and that no one's going anywhere, and that, you know, it's something that we can't control. And there's a simple thing you can do to manage stress in your car, and that is breathe. Take deep breaths in through your nose and extend your exhalation, because that's actually what stimulates the opposite of the stress response.
And I was interested in this German study. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, it actually talked about a link between traffic and heart attacks, right?
That's right. And in this German study, about 1,400 people, they showed that just an hour prior to the onset of their symptoms, these people were stuck in traffic, and it's significantly higher risk of having a heart attack triggered by stressful traffic.
Why is it that that traffic would do this to us? Is it the same as getting in a crowded situation where we're in line? Is it the same symptoms there, or does the fact that we're in a car bring on something else?
I think there's a number of things that stimulate this stress response or the fight or flight response. One is that we're stuck in this confined space. You know, we're stuck here. We're worried about being rear-ended or rear-ending someone else. And the biggest stress is, hey, we're going to be late. We're fear of being late, which means we're fear of losing our job or whatever. But all of those things trigger the stress response, which increases our heart rate, increases our blood pressure, makes our blood become thick and sticky, and increases inflammation. And all of those things create the perfect storm for a heart attack.
And we do not want that. Now, you've got a method, it's called Breathe, and it's divided kind of up into 6 steps. And we have those for you. So it starts with pay attention to your breathing, right?
That's right. So pay attention to how you respond actually to stress first. So when you're in traffic and you start getting upset because someone's getting too close, or you're telling them to move over, when you feel what you feel when you feel stressed, do you have a knot in your stomach? Do you start gripping the steering wheel tighter? Does your heart race? That's what you really want to pay attention to. That's the be and breathe. That's the beginning.
And then you say breathe through your nose if possible.
You want to breathe in through your nose if you can. If you can't, you can breathe in through your mouth. But the most important thing about this breathe technique is to extend your exhalation, because that's what stimulates the opposite of the stress response, lowers your heart rate, and lowers your blood pressure.
And that's the inhale deeply and slowly through your nose, what you were talking about, right? And then there's exhale through your mouth, you were talking about?
That's right, and exhale through your mouth. And a really neat thing and an easy thing to remember is you want to try to exhale to the count of 7, like the number of letters in the word breathe.
Okay, and you're inhaling to a count of?
Just inhale as deeply as you can. In fact, normal breathing, we inhale less than we exhale. And when you do this type of breathing, you want to really exaggerate the exhalation, because that's what stimulates this vagus nerve, which lowers your heart rate and lowers your blood pressure.
And you can use this in everything, but another tip you have out there is, and this goes as part of the breathe technique, is to relax and focus on the sound of the breath, like you were just talking about.
Yeah, and you know, I think a really good way to think of this is, you know, think of people that perform under pressure all the time, people that are stressed out but are able to execute under pressure, and those are athletes. You know, athletes that are making the game-winning shot with no time left, they're doing this. They're actually breathing to lower their heart rate, to calm their nerves, but they're also very focused, and that's what I want to really emphasize when you're stuck in traffic. You don't want to relax to the point of going to sleep. You want to focus and really execute and perform with precision, but do it while we're noticing that you should stimulate the relaxation response, which is the opposite of the stress response.
And you also say we should kind of listen to the conversation going on there between the brain and the breathing.
That's right. There's a conversation that goes on between our heart and brain at all times. When we stand up, for example, our brain is telling our heart to increase adrenaline, which is a hormone that causes our blood vessels to constrict so that we maintain blood to our brain. That's an example of this conversation. Breathing is what connects our heart and our brain. So when we exhale, we lower our heart rate and lower our blood pressure. It's an example of how we can participate in that conversation between our heart and brain.
Well, let's thank you so much. We want to talk about your book a little bit. It is the 15-minute heart cure, and of course that has a lot to do with it. I've talked to you before about this, and for more information and links to Dr. Kennedy's website and the Breathe for Wellness website, go to kcal9.com and click on Seen on TV. But really good information. Thank you, because this can help your overall health.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.